Welcome back to We Are Tottenham TV, the only place to be on match day. And it is Premier League match day today. And we are at home to Wolves. I'm joined. There was 3. Now there's 2. So I'm expecting someone to come back.
Was 4, now there's 3.
Yeah, but I meant 3 guests. I was going to say I've been joined by 3 guests, but all of a sudden there's 2. So, but I'm joined as always. I'm never go anywhere without him. With by Jimbo, by Jimbo, and of course we've got Luke with us as well from Spotlight on Spurs. Jimbo, first of all, how are you doing?
I think we should keep Luke as well. Just keep him and take him everywhere with us. Right?
That sounds a little bit creepy. I'm not going to lie.
He's such a nice man, Luke.
He is a nice guy.
Never seen him say a bad word on a stream yet.
No, exactly. But are you well, Jimbo?
Yeah, I'm excellent, thank you.
Good and lovely. We call him Lovely Luke from here on in. Lovely Luke, how are you doing?
I've been called a few things in my time. Lovely Luke's not one of them. Not one of them at all. But I'll take it. I'll take it. I try and stay positive. Spurs pushes you to the brink at times, but listen, with a new manager, it's a new era. We've got a new direction. What seems to be we're targeting different players to what we're used to. So if you can't be positive now after winning a European trophy as well, when can you be positive?
Exactly. And look, everyone needs to be like Steve D. He's just popped in to say hello and give us a like. Please do smash the like. It does help the channel and lets Ben and Sim know that we're doing an all right job. Obviously, like I say, we've got Wolves today. Been some interesting results in the Premier League. Man City absolutely flying 5-1 win at Burnley. Or I think, was it at Burnley or Man City? It was at Man City, wasn't it? I think. Chelsea dropping points, Liverpool dropping points, and someone else dropped points. Man United, not really a surprise. So it's time for Spurs to capitalise, surely capitalise and get ourselves up the table. Midfielder Sarr is back in the fold. Obviously, Thomas Frank announced this in his press conference yesterday. Dominic Solanke still out with an ankle injury, and Kolo Muani's dead leg remain sidelined. Jimbo, I'm going to ask you again. I've asked you 3 weeks in a row on the pre-match pump-up. Is there something going on with Dominic Solanke, or do you think he is just being extra cautious?
Yeah, I think this is a manager that he knows that he's got some backup there. So why is he going to rush him back and take a chance? Because it's a long season. I don't think he's the type of manager to come out and lie about an injury. So I believe what he's saying. I think he's just being double cautious. Like last season, we had we were throwing players in too early and they were getting injured quick again. And I think that Thomas is just not taking any chances. So I think they'll be back in the next couple of games.
Lou, what's your thoughts on Solanke? Because he seems to have been out forever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone see the that James Maddison's got his own YouTube now, and he done a little video about pre-season and everything else. And Solanke had a boot on his ankle then. and I believe it's still the same injury to now. And I'm pretty sure Alistair Gold came out and said midweek that Solanke started training and felt pain in his ankle again. So then they went away from the training again. So yeah, it just seems to be this is just typical Spurs. I was saying this all last year when I was kind of backing Ange and I kept getting slaughtered for it, and injuries were constantly brought up, and I was like, we just as a club have injuries. Like Solanke didn't miss a single Premier League game when he played for Bournemouth. He comes to us in the second game and he's out injured. And Mawani, exactly the same. He's missed one game for his whole career with an injury, and he's missed 2 at Spurs in 3 games or 4 games. It's just like, this is just what we seem to do. So, but I definitely agree. I think that we will manage it better. I think the medical team, there's been a massive change there. And also because of the amount of players that we have covering that position, we don't have to like force him back into the fold. Whereas last year we kind of had Richarlison out as well, and it was kind of rush everybody back. Everyone needed to be back as soon as possible, and then they would come in and potentially break down. So I do think that's part of it. There was an interesting take I see about Mawani. Someone was saying that maybe people are just leaving. Maybe he's just leaving him out a little bit because he did look really rusty when he came on for that 20 minutes. He already looked like he was knackered. So they were saying maybe they're using this as a little bit of a just let him train up in the background before they bring him back in, because it's a new signing. You don't want him coming in half fit and struggling, and then all of a sudden everyone's on his back. So it'd be interesting to see. But we definitely need some people back because it's going to be a busy few weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Big up Dermatron from THFC Till We Die. How are you doing? You're on mute. Either that or I can't hear you.
No, it's just everything's gone wrong today, Kate. I mean, my PC decided to crash. My camera's now packed up. My mic's now packing up. I might as well go home and just give up for the evening. But no, thanks for having me here. Look, really looking forward to the game tonight. But it's a game we've got to win. These are the games last season we weren't winning. So if we want to say that we've moved on from last season, these are the games we have to win. We have not beaten Wolves in our last 5 games. 4 defeats and 1 draw. They rarely are a bogey team. So, I mean, my first game at the new stadium was a 2-1 defeat under Conte against Wolves when they bought off Segi off early. I think they bought him off after about 10 minutes or 15 minutes. And I just remember him walking around that stadium looking really dejected, like. But yeah, we got to win tonight. Tonight, now all the results have gone for us. Let's capitalize on that and win tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Jimbo, we were saying earlier when things, I don't want to be the kiss of death or be negative, but when things tend to go our way and we've got the opportunity to really, make a move and make a statement and take advantage of the people dropping points, we tend to mess up. Do you see that happening today, or do you think that the tide's changing with Thomas Frank?
You be negative? Never. Well, never. I think this is a different manager to what we've had for the last few years. He's going to turn every stone over, and he's going to get us prepared for every game properly. You saw with the Bournemouth game, there was going to be hiccups at the beginning, until he gets everything right. But games like this, I can't see us losing, Kate. I just can't. Last season, I would have been sitting here thinking, mouthing off, we're going to win 12-0, right? But in the back of my head, thinking this is a banana skin for Tottenham, but they haven't won. Like last season, Ipswich hadn't won all season. Come to White Hart Lane and they beat us. We was there. But I think with this manager, it's not going to happen. He doesn't take anyone for granted.
Yeah. I mean, Luke, do you believe in bogey teams? Because Wolves, I mean, previous to the last 5 sort of meetings, we are quite dominant over them. But of recent years, we have struggled against them. Do you believe they could be a bogey team, or do you think it's just the management that we've had, players?
I think there's so many different factors in it. You could have just played them at the complete wrong time where our season's ended in the Premier League. There's so many different factors that go into it, but I do think that it plays on people's minds. So, for instance, talking of bogey teams, when we play City, I almost feel like they're going on the pitch going, something's going to happen here, and if something goes our way, it's almost like, oh, it's happening again, sort of thing. So I definitely feel like there's a mentality thing that kind of goes into it, hoping that because it's such a fresh new regime that there isn't any after effects. If we, for instance, do go 1-0 down or a decision goes against us, everyone's still in such a fresh mindset that that's not considered. But I do think it is something that is factored in. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, really, isn't it? Because you would expect it to be a team that we do have a good record against. But I don't know why. I just feel like Spurs, it always feels like over the years, if we get a big result or things really go our way, that the next game just seems to be where we stumble. So it will be really interesting, as a guy said earlier, in terms of is this fully us now turning a corner, new ownership, but new people at the top, new manager, new style, new way of working, sort of thing. So it'd be really, really interesting to see how we get on. But yeah, not a winning 5 and then Dr. Tottenham will see you now is let's hope that's not the case.
Oh, don't. To be fair, I do think there is a bogey team of ours, and that's definitely Chelsea away. But that's for another day.
Last season, it was everyone.
Yeah, it was. Dermot, this is my predicted 11. I've put up Vicario, Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, and Doggy, Palhinha, Sarr, Kudus, Bergvall, Simmons, and Richarlison. Any thoughts? Would you say anything different? What are you thinking?
I did my own predicted lineup this morning, and actually the only change I made was Porro, but Spence in for your Doggy. That's the only change I would make. I went with everything else. I think Palhinha has been an absolute godsend for us. We've been looking for this number 6 for I don't know how long, and he's just fell into our lap. So sign him up now. I just feel the only thing that's letting us down is a striker. We need a striker up there. You got Simmons on one side, you got Kudus on the other. As much as I love Richarlison and for what he does off the pitch and his shithousery on the pitch, I'm sorry. It was his sort of going down last week that started the second goal when we went 2-0 down. I just don't think he's a striker for us. I think, he's had his time. He needs to go somewhere else. I feel Tottenham's too big for him. I really do. I just feel Tottenham's too big of a club for him. But the rest of it, I think our back 5 is as solid as anyone. I think we're really defensive. Bergville's really shown what a class act he's going to be. He really is. Papa Sarr's really grown into it this year. But yeah, the only change I would make was Spence in for your Doggy. I just prefer Spence to your Doggy now. I just think, yes, your Doggy's a good player, but I think Spence is better than him.
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes down to personal preference. But look, we will have a look and see how close I actually was. If I can get rid of that, let's get rid of that. See, look, it's all going wrong. There we go. Let's share my screen because the team is out. Can everyone see that? No, I haven't added it to the screen. No, I haven't added it in the right way. Just talk amongst yourselves.
I agree with Dermo, to be fair. I think Spence will play, but
well, it is.
We were both wrong.
It is.
No, I said Spence will play. I didn't say who would come out.
It's Vicario in goal. Then we've got Palhinha, Xavi Simons, Richarlison, Udogi, Bergvall, Romero, Kudus, Spence, Bentancur, and Van de Ven. So finally, the machine that is Pedro Porro is getting a rest. On the bench, we've got Kinski, Danso, Tell, Gray, Johnson, Porro, Odegaard, Sarr, and Scarlett. Jimbo.
That's exactly what I would have done. Left Porro out and put Spence in and Udogi.
Right, so, I'm trying to. Right, we've got Kudus on one side. Who's on the other wing?
Xavi Simons. It's a midfield 3. Yeah, midfield 3, but it's exactly your midfield 3. But oh no, you had Sarr instead of Bentancur, didn't you?
Yeah, I had Sarr in there. So Simons isn't playing down the middle today. He's playing on the wing. I mean, Jimbo, what's your first thoughts on the team?
Yeah, strong. It's good. It's nice. They can leave Porro out, bring Spence in. Got your Doggy. It's how we should be now. You know, being able to leave play. Last season, we couldn't leave people out, could we? With people playing, you know, just game after game after game. So yeah, strong team. It's as strong as we can have. You know, you could argue with Porro, having Porro in there. To me, it's not a lot of difference having your doggy and Spence than having Porro and your doggy or Porro and Spence. So midfield good. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Xavi in the 10, but it doesn't look like it's going to be that, does it?
Well, not unless he makes changes and sort of moves it about, which is always a possibility. Luke, what about you? What do you think about sort of Xavi being on the wing and not in the middle?
I prefer Spence as a left back personally. However, if Xavi's on the left, I prefer Udogie because I think with Frank, it's not about who's the best left winger. It's not about who's the best striker. It's about what combinations, who works well with who, etc. And I felt literally we see Spence and Xavi Simons on the both of them played on the left hand side, and within 20 minutes I was like, it's far too central. Everything just feeds into the center of the pitch. So if you're playing Spence, then you need a wide winger, which I think is why we was looking at Savinho, left-footed, plays down, almost be on the touchline, and then Spence coming in field. You kind of create that there. But obviously, with Xavi Simons playing on the left, he's constantly coming inside, and you've got Udogie on the like going wide. So I actually prefer that makeup, although I'd prefer Spence at left back. But I think it's a real big test now for Spence because I might be in the minority here, but I feel like every time Spence has played at right back, he's struggled. He's not quite looked himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be for a variety of reasons. Normally, if he's playing there, it's a changed lineup and it's not the star player kind of playing on the right-hand side with him sort of thing. But I feel like this is really a good chance to see whether or not he's going to be almost like could play right and can play left, or is he going to be a case of he's left but he'll be back up for the right hand side sort of thing. So I think it's an interesting team. I like the way that he goes so strong, and I think it's quite evident the positions that we need to improve on in the winter window.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Dermot's, I think this is spot on, really. It's quite a flexible lineup because he can switch it around with the subs that he's got. I mean, what are you making of the team?
I quite like it. I think it's a strong midfield. I agree with Jimbo. I think you've got to give Porro a rest. I think he's good to give him a rest. But I also agree with Luke that Spence on that right side does not feel comfortable there. And I feel that could be, if Wolves want to hurt us, I think that's where they will hurt us. I think he's more comfortable on the left. I wish he would play Simons in the centre. But, you know, I like the way Simons is on the wing. He keeps cutting in all the time. And I just love when he cuts in. He leaves that overlap for Porro or Spence to get down, for Porro to get down that left side, and it overlaps him. So it gives him an option. Well, can I shoot or do I pass it to Spence to get the cross in? So I like that, but he's much better as a central midfielder. I think it was Villarreal, when he come on, played more central, he lit up the park. And I think he did it last week at Brighton as well. He just lit up the park in the central position. But a strong lineup, and that's the lineup that will win tonight. So, yeah, good on Thomas Frank.
Yeah, let's hope so. I mean, go on, Jimbo.
We bought Spence as a right back, didn't we? And he has played right back with Kudus once this season, and I thought they did well. So, but look, I've been asked this question I don't know how many times. I think he is better on the left, but I'm not worried about being on the right. Not at all. He'll be all right.
Yeah. I think he's a great player, but I think it's true what Luke says. We'll get to see exactly what he's all about tonight. But I just wanted to touch on Xavi Simons, going on from what Dermot said. Against Brighton, he played 29 minutes, 28 touches, 94% pass accuracy, 1 key pass, 3 shots. What's the chances, Jimbo? I mean, Jeff Stelling's heavily backed Xavi to have score his first goal at Spurs. For Spurs tonight, what do you fancy? Because you can see already that this guy is a great player.
Yeah, he just needs to settle in. It's a new country, new team. He's only had a few games. He's going to be fine. You can see his quality. You know, look, people say, "Oh, you can't go by the highlight reels." You can go by the highlight reels. If they can play football on the highlight reels, you can see that if you watch enough of them, right? And I mean, his highlight reels are unbelievable. It's some of the goals he scored, the tricks, the flicks, taking people on. He's just a quality player, and we're lucky to have him, you know. And what we've got him on a 7-year contract, is it?
Yeah, till 2030 with an option.
We're lucky. The kid's he's going to get with the right manager, and I think Frank is the right manager, he's going to get better and better. You know, so yeah, I'm not worried about him at all. And look, I'm going to have him to score tonight as well.
Yeah. What Luke, what did you make of him coming on or what did you make of him against Brighton? I mean, I thought he was a real bright spark. Do you fancy that he could sort of get something, assist, a goal, both this game?
Yeah, I mean, he seems to me to be the game changer, and I also think that with Kudus being on the right wing and the teams having to worry about two of them, I think they'll make each other better, because I think that was what we was lacking. I think everyone just kind of doubled up on that right hand side, and once you stop him, it was kind of like, well, they haven't really got a lot more. So it's a settling in process. Listen, like Liverpool have just gone and signed Wirtz for 125 million. And he's had minimal impact. And Wirtz is quality. He's a quality player. Whether he works in a Premier League, that's a completely different ball game. But he's a quality player. So some players just take a little bit of time, a little bit of pressure. We're obviously trying to gel in that attacking phase. There's a lot. I think if you spoke to most Spurs fans, they kind of say that left wing and striker are positions that we need. So therefore, we're heavily relying on him and Kudus to do what we need them to do, almost carry that front four. So it's a lot of pressure. But this kid has been a wonder kid since the age of 12. Like, people have been talking about him for how old is he now? I think he's 20, 22, probably a decade already. Yeah, so people have been talking about him for a decade, that he's going to be an absolute star in the making. So he's played at big clubs. He understands what it is. And I think that he will have I'm hoping that he goes under the radar for the first few games. I think he got the assist with the corner that Sarr scored from, and I think that just settles things a little bit. People stop jumping on the bandwagon then. So he's got that assist, and then hopefully he'll start growing into it. But I mean, I'm not making any predictions, but I did bring him into the fantasy team. So let's see.
That's a whole other level. That's like putting a ring on the finger, bringing him into the fantasy football team. Well, let's hope that he does get a goal for you, and an assist, or maybe two.
I'll take that.
Let's have yeah, exactly. Quick look at the Wolves lineup. We've got Johnston, Doherty, Bueno. Oh, that makes me want chocolate. Krejci, another Bueno. There's two Buenos. Are they brothers? Andre, Gomez, Menetzi, Arias, Huang, and Strand Larson. And then they've got Sarr, Wolf, Agbadu. Oh my God, their names. Abracadabra. I feel like I'm going to say abracadabra. Him, Gomez, Totti, Bellegarde, Lopez, and Chichawi. If any of them are said correctly, it will be a miracle. How comes there's two Buenos? Is they brothers? Are they brothers? Does anyone know?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No, I don't think
there is
so.
Two of them.
It just makes me think of Kinder Buenos because there's two sticks. Maybe they're chocolate. Anything there, Dermot? Anyone there that sort of not necessarily worries you, but that worries you, I suppose, actually.
Yeah, I would have to be Strand Larson. I think he's the one that really worries me. What doesn't worry me is the return of Doherty. I mean, I watch him a lot for Ireland. He's crap for Ireland, and he was crap at Spurs, and he's crap at Wolves. Believe me, I went to a game once when he was playing for Ireland. He was the only man on the pitch with gloves on. This is in the middle of March. And I literally did shout from the sidelines, "Take off your gloves, beep, 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 beep." And he looked at me, and he just took the gloves off, threw them on the ground, and walked off. I thought, he was the only man with the glove. I just do not like him. So I hope he has a miserable game tonight. But yeah, Strad Larson for me, he's the one that if we get a bit cocky in defence and he gets a bit of space, he's the one that will worry me.
Yeah. Luke, anyone there that, Wolves, like you say, they haven't won a game yet. They're on 0 points in the table, but we know they're not that bad. They can't be that bad. But anyone there that you think could be of a concern to us?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think Strand Larson I actually think that he will grow very quickly in this league. He came on loan last year. They signed him permanently, but obviously you had the Newcastle links. I think that he's a very, very good striker, and with the right service, I think he'll score a hell of a lot of goals. But obviously, I'm not going to just do the same one as Dermo, so I'm going to go with a midfield pairing, João Gomez and Andre. I think when we played them last season, in the second game, I think it was particularly, they were all over the place. They were absolutely superb, and I think both of them are very, very good. From my understanding, they've struggled a little bit at the start of this season, but I think Andre particularly had a good game midweek or the last Premier League game, and I think them two in midfield are a very good base, and it'd be interesting to see them up against Bergvall and Xavi in our midfield as well. So they'd be the positions that I'd be worried about.
Yeah, look, I agree with both of what you said. I'm not going to ask Jim because he'll just go, I'm not worried about anyone, like he always does. So I'm not even going to ask you that question, Jimbo. But obviously, Wolves they may not have always had the quality, but they always work hard. So I agree with you with the midfield pairing. Jimbo, obviously, as Dermot touched on earlier, the one thing we seem to really be lacking at the minute is a striker. I don't want to lay loads of stuff on Richarlison because I seem to do it every single stream and I get slated for it. So I'm not going to lay it on thick for him. But I mean, he's limited, Frank, to who he can play. We haven't got Solanke, we haven't got Kolo Muani. You would argue that Richarlison is probably better than Dane Scarlett. He came out the traps absolutely flying and scored 2 worldies against Burnley, and then all of a sudden he seems to have reverted back. Do you think there's any reason for that? Do you think he's just a purple patch player?
Yeah, I think he's a purple patch player, Kate. He can come on and he can play so well in some games, and then he just disappears, doesn't he, in games? Look, he don't do himself any favours. The other day, he come on, his first touch of the ball, he's on the floor, rolling around, holding his ankle. And it's like, what? You're a man, you're a footballer, you know. Just get up and play football, because he can play football. But I've been crying out to see how Solanke's going to do with this new shape we've got and the players we've got. I really, really want to see how he does, because I think that he gets a bit of a bad rap, Solanke. And I think that with the right service, he'll get us goals. But I just think Richie's a purple patch player, Kate. You know, you never know what you're going to get from him. You know, it's like just dipping your hands into a box of Quality Street. You never know what you're going to pick out. That's what he's like, one game to the next. Have you froze?
Have I froze?
Yeah, you froze. That's it. You're back.
I think you froze again.
It's all the
Pete, you don't do that in the front room. We've lost you. We can see your pretty face, but we can't hear you, which makes a change.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's your fault for going Forrest Gump on me. But Luke, what I was going to say to you is, obviously Frank's can only work with what he can work with till January at the earliest. I'm like Jim. I said that I thought Solanke would be the most improved player under Thomas Frank's system. I just think we're going to see a different Solanke. He's going to get the service from Kudus. I mean, what do you make of Richarlison, first of all? And are you excited to see Solanke, or do you think we need better than both of them?
It'd be interesting to see with Solanke. There's no real evidence to prove that he is what we need in terms of he's had one very good season. But outside of that, everything's been a lower level. However, I like him. I do think that he can bring a lot of good things. With Richarlison, about him being a purple patch player, he's not. He is, but like normally you'd have like purple patch where they'll have like 3 good games and then 3 bad ones. He could have a terrible 20 minutes and then a fantastic 15 minutes. Like there's no consistency even in the same game. There's sometimes when the ball comes to him and he holds off a player, turns them and does a flick, and I'm like, that's superb. And then the next time, as you said, he goes down like he's been taken out and actually he's not been touched. So it's a really, really strange situation. I think particularly in that attacking area, our problem is that we've got a lot of players where if they were our bench players and they were coming on, you'd go, that's brilliant. Whereas they shouldn't be your starting. So like, for instance, I think Brennan Johnson coming off the bench in the last 15 minutes when you need a goal is a great option. I think if you're struggling to score goals and you bring Richie on, you know he's going to be all up people. He's going to be elbowing. He's a great option. But a lot of our players are probably not starters in a team that want to be looking at finishing top 4. So I think we need to stop doing what we've been doing for a long time now, is buying our squad players. We need to start buying the first 11 players, and then our first 11 players become the squad, and then your bench looks brilliant. So I would like to see Solanke. I don't think it's about levels, right? And I think that when you get to a certain level, if you want to go up, for me, Solanke's probably not a top 4 striker at this moment in time. But under this system with Frank, do I think Frank will improve him? I think he will. And also, again, we're looking at that left-hand side, that needs improvement as well. And if he gets a better left winger, maybe he scores more goals. But I do think Solanke is underrated. I think that he's better than we see last year. And I was hoping that him and Richarlison being fit together would score the goals that were required. But obviously now it's been such a long time. How long is Solanke going to take to actually get back fit? I think that's part of my concern now, because I think that injury's gone on for so long.
Yeah. I do wonder if he's keeping him out precautionary to make sure he's properly fit. I don't know. But I mean, Dermot, do you see Solanke fitting into this system better than he did under Angie's system?
I'm not overly convinced of Solanke. I'm not convinced of Richarlison either, to be fair. I think Richarlison's it's a small fish in a big pond at Tottenham. I've always said that. I feel that when he's at a club at Everton or a size of Everton or Wolves, he's a big fish in a small pond. You come to Tottenham, he's a small fish in the big pond, and he's getting lost. I agree with Jimbo. Like, it is purple patches, but there's not too many far between, if you know what I mean. He's not giving you consistency game after game after game. And with Solanke, I was very underwhelmed when we bought him. He had one good season in the Championship. He's not really Premier League proven. He's not going to get you 20, 25 goals a season, what you want your striker to get you at. And so I feel, yeah, he may do well in this system, but when it comes to next summer, we need to replace the pair of them. I really do. I really do feel that, because I don't think going forward, either Richarlison or Solanke is going to be the man, going to be the striker that's going to get you the goals, because they're nowhere near good enough. Solanke gives you a lot of work, dropping back deep. But the one thing what we do miss is when Harry Kane was with us, he was the man to get you all the goals, but he came deep. Solanke's doing this first bit, but he can't do the second bit. So if we get a chance to buy Harry Kane back, and Harry Kane wants to come back, we need to push out everything to get him back, because he's the missing key. We get Harry Kane into this team, I think we're title contenders.
Wow. It would be rather nice to see Harry back, I'm not going to lie. Jimbo, we did have a conversation at the beginning of the week on our stream about Vicario, another one who I think gets, I was going to say unwarranted, but he did. I think he was to blame. He wasn't brilliant against Brighton. And there was an argument, you said, that perhaps Kinski could come in and fight for his place against Vicario. Obviously, Frank is still putting Vicario as the number one. Do you see any world where Kinski does work his way into the first team, or do you think Vicario is just going to stay as the number one for Frank?
I think the second goal of Vicario should have saved at Brighton, definitely. Look, I don't think there's a lot between them, if you want to know the truth, Kate. I think what you got to say about Kinski, he's not really had a proper chance, has he? No. Frank. So, but I don't think there's a lot. If Vicario gets injured and Kinski comes in, I'm not worried, right? Not at all, because I think he's a very, very good keeper. And I same with Vicario. I think he's a good keeper. He doesn't make many mistakes. All keepers make mistakes, you know. I go back a long way with keepers, Jennings and Clements, Grobbelaar, people like that. They all make mistakes. It's just something. It's when a keeper does it, it stands out more because it normally costs a goal, right? I don't think he makes many mistakes. I think he's a very good keeper. I mean, we're lucky, really, because we've got two good keepers. And I watch people talking about Vicario, you know, and I don't see where they're coming from. Some of them think that he's nowhere near good enough. I don't agree with that. I just think that we're lucky we've got two good keepers. If Vicario goes out and Kinski comes in, I'm not worried, vice versa.
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry, I was getting distracted by someone saying that Pep Guardiola's been sacked, but no, I don't think he has. They've just won 5-1. I can't see him getting sacked anytime soon. But the football world is a strange place, but not that I can find anything. Luke, obviously, like I say, creativity has been a little bit of a concern. I don't think that Frank particularly rates Odebert or Tell because they're not getting picked they've not been picked tonight. Where do you see the goals coming from tonight?
I mean, set pieces is a key part, isn't it? I mean, that seems to be where we've created most of our opportunities. You would hope that, as I said, with Simmons playing on, or Xavi playing on the left, with O'Doggy overlapping, I think that would be a good option down that side. Kudus can obviously create as well. So I think it will probably come from those wide areas or from set pieces. But yeah, going on to Vicario, I think again it's all about levels, right? If you're looking at signing, if you're looking to become a top 10 team, you might sign this player, but then when you want to become a top 6 team, you might need to upgrade that player, right? So he's certainly not. And for me, we've got so many areas that need to be upgraded that you almost you can't bunch them all together because you're not going to get all of the work done. Is Vicario a goalkeeper that's going to win a league? I'm not so sure. I don't think he's got that height in him, but a lot of it is also down to the way that you play. I mean, if you're asking Vicario to constantly play short passes and do almost like an Ederson job, well, that's not what he's used to. That's not what he does. So a lot of that, I think, is dependent on. And City have made a massive change. Look at them. They went from having probably the best footballing goalkeeper in the world to going and having someone who actually kind of struggles with his feet, but don't ask him to play. So again, I think Frank's clever enough to be able to almost hide them deficiencies and hide them weaknesses, make him a little bit more stronger in terms of what he does positively, and then we'll kind of go from there. But yeah, I think set pieces is going to be key for both defensive and attacking, and it will just be for us to have a good base and then eventually let the attacking players settle in a little bit and hopefully they can come up with that bit of magic.
Well, Kate, what I have noticed since Frank's come in is that Vicario doesn't take half as many chances. As soon as he thinks it's being closed down, he hoofs it up, you know. So they've obviously, well, I know they've been working with him on it. So if he gets them silly little short passes out of his game that mess up, you know, I think he's a decent keeper.
Yeah.
Not everyone will agree with me, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, it's just whether you think decent is good enough. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what Luke just said, right? Is that we need to change quite a few players still. Look, let's be honest, right? There's a lot of players in this team that are not going to cut it with Frank going forward, right? He wants to win everything. People like Richie are not going to cut it. Solanke, it remains to be seen. He's got to get his run first. Tell Odebert, they're not going to cut it, Kate. Not unless over this season they dramatically get like 80% better than what they are. Like, they're not going to last in this team. They're going to end up just on the subs bench, or even out the club. If he wants to go where we're hoping he wants to take us, we can't have players like that sitting around. It's just as simple as that. But
yeah, that's what I think.
The goalkeeper for me is at the back of the line to change.
That's what I mean. It's about priorities. That's what I'm saying. I think Vicario is decent. I don't think he's a terrible goalkeeper. I don't think he's elite level, but I think he's good at what we've got at the moment. I wouldn't be any quick hurry to be upgrading because I think that money should be put elsewhere. And then once we've sorted that out, then maybe that's an area you look at. But you're always looking at improving every single team.
Yeah,
so
cool.
You'd never have a team unless we sign Harry Kane, and then there's no need to upgrade. We've got.
Yeah, but look, let's be honest, right? Let's be honest. If we get Harry Kane, it's only for the 1 or 2 seasons. You know, going forward, you know, we're still going to need a top striker besides Harry Kane.
But sometimes that's not a negative thing. I think a lot of fans, and I'm guilty of it as well, is that we always go, yeah, but what about the long term? Well, what about the long term? Well, if you always look at the long term, you're never worried about the short term.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just need a short term player. Palhinha, I think, is exactly that. Palhinha is fantastic right now, but he's not going to be in the team in 3 years, or you'd hope he's not in the team for 3 years. And I think sometimes Spurs have been so long term that we've actually forgot, we've got a team that we need right now. So I completely agree.
Yeah. I mean, Derm, what do you make of Vicario? What's your thoughts on him?
I like Vicario. I think Jim made a very good point when he talked about previous keeper. I mean, there was one mistake Ray Clements meant in the semi-final of the 82 against Barcelona. when I think they kicked it and it went straight through his fingers into the back of the net. Keepers will make mistakes. It's just when it's a keeper, it's more out there because the vocal point's on them. Vicario is going to be a top keeper for us. He really is. He's got the talent. And I agree, if he can just get this sort of short pass and mistakes out of his game, I think he could be a next, here for the next 10 years. I really do feel that. I do. I think I was critical of him last week because I think for the first goal, he was caught in no man's land. He didn't know if you wanted to come forward, go back, whatever. If you're going to go forward, commit to it. If they score, I won't mind. At least I know you're committed to trying to do something. And the second one, I think he should have pushed over the bar instead of round the post. But look, I think he saved us enough times last season and this season already. And I just think he's a young keeper. He will learn, he will grow. And keepers go into their prime a lot later in life than outfield players do. So I think he really is. He's got the talent. And if we train him right, he'll be here for the next 10 years. I love Vicario. I love the way he talks. I love the way that he's very vocal with his defense, where Hugo Lloris wasn't. Vicario is the opposite to that. And that's what defenders need. They need to be talked to. They need to be shouted at. They need to be organized. And he does that in spades. And just to avoid a quick question, Kate, on where the goals are coming from tonight, I agree with Luke, set pieces, but also I think Kudos could be the key tonight as well. If he's on his game, him and Simmons tonight, I think can both score tonight. So I think that's where the goals are coming from, I think, tonight on that one.
I'd love to see both of them get their first goals. It'd be great. But yeah, Sonny makes a good point. Obviously on Tuesday we've got Bodo Glimt away. So I suppose the manager is keeping one eye on that as well. Games are coming so thick and fast. It just seems like there's a game like all the time. And I'm not complaining because, it's all good. But they are coming very thick and fast. And we've got a Champions League away game Tuesday night. So I'm sure we'll see the likes of Sarr, Tell, Odobert start in that game. Look, it's almost that time it is that time for score predictions. We'd like to know what you think the score is going to be and who's going to score the goals. I've got a few already. XR Arts is hoping for a 3-0 win today. Let's make a statement in away games. The Peepom says Spurs to win 5-0. Ronnie's saying 4-1 win tonight. Mika is saying 4-0 win. Tedders is saying Spurs 5, Wolves 0 tonight. Hat-trick for Johnson again. Ole, ole. I would love to be able to pronounce this name, but I can't. But they're saying 5-1 Spurs win. Scribble Scrabble says 2-0 Spurs, Xavi and Bergvall goals. 3-0. 6-1 all own goals. I hope that's 6-1 to Spurs. Big up, Nick, Lazy A. I think you're joining us Tuesday night for the pump up for the Glimt game, if I remember rightly. It's going 1-0 Richie. 4-0 Richie hat-trick, Bergvall, Kudus, 4 assists. Wow, that would be nice. A lot of people talking about Bentancur. I think the thing with Bentancur, we were saying this the other day, is that he goes about his business. He doesn't particularly do anything spectacular, but he just does what he needs to do and he does it well. And that's why maybe he doesn't get recognised so much. I don't know. That's how I see it. Marco says 3-0. King Oasis says 2-0 Xavi and Van der Ven on the score sheet. Xavi scoring a worldie. Two goals for Kudus, 4-0 Xavi hat-trick, 3-0 to Spurs. Everyone's feeling confident. I like this. I like it a lot. 3-0 Kudus, Bergvall and Johnson again. Ole, ole. Junkbot saying 2-0 Xavi screamer and Romero from a corner. Lou, what are you fancying for tonight's game?
I like the Romero from a corner shot. I think that's going to be one this year that I think we could do well from. I think a couple of years ago he was the highest scoring defender. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see that. This is one of them games where if in the first 5 minutes there's an early goal, then all score predictions kind of go out the window and it could end up being anything. So I think it's going to be a bit tight. I think it's going to be a bit cagey. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Spurs.
Oh no, I hate 2-1s. Who's going to score for Spurs?
I'm going to go with Romero. I can't turn around and say that's a great one and then not pick that because that won't make too much sense. So we'll go with Romero, and then I'm going to go for Xavi Simons. I mean, I've backed him in the fantasy, so I've got to back him now, haven't I? So yeah, Xavi, and I'll back Kudus to get the assist, to get one or at least one assist as well. So.
Wow, I'll take it. Even though I don't like 2-1s, I'm going to go a bit braver, and I'm going to go 3-0 to Spurs. I fancy a clean sheet today, and I am going to do Van de Ven to score from a set piece. I'm going to do Richarlison to score one. Probably bounced off his arm or something, or perhaps his chest. And I think I'm going to be outrageous and do Xavi Simons as well to score a goal, because he's going to get one soon, and I've got a feeling tonight could be the night. Curly Norman agreeing with you, Luke, and saying 2-1 in a game that should be closer than it should be. 2-1 Wolves, boo! Don't like that. Dermatron, what do you fancy for tonight?
Do you know what? I'm actually going to go for a 4-0 win. I think we're going to batter them tonight. As we're at home, we're going to come out all guns blazing. We're going to go out. We're going to kill them early. And then you can take some plays off for Tuesday, rest and big sums of substitutes on. Wolves are in really bad form. People don't realise how bad they are. 5 out of 5. So I'm going for, and my goal scorers are going to be Kudus, Simmons, Bergville, and do you know what? I'm going for Romero as well.
Excellent. I was just checking the Forest Sunderland score, and it's still 1-0 to Sunderland from what I can see.
Yeah, I've got it on. It's all Forest, but Wood just missed a sitter.
Oh dear.
His head. Yeah, it was. Should have been a goal.
4-0, says Ben Cham. I feel confident for the win. That's always good. 8 p.m. Saturday kickoff. Wolves don't want to be in London, let alone at that time. Come on, you Spurs. Jimbo, what do you fancy for tonight?
Well, I was going to go 4-0, but I think I'll go one up and go 5-0.
I was literally just thinking that you've now put Jimbo in a right difficult position, because he has to be the most positive on the panel. So he's going to go 5 or 6.
Do you know what, Jim? Jimbo? I'm going to go for 6-0 now. You'll probably go for 7-0.
I'm going to go for because I really think, right. Let me guess. Jim said 7-0. I really think we are going to batter someone soon. I really do. I think we're going to give someone a good hiding. And I think our home Wolves on a bad run. They're desperate for a win, aren't they? When people are desperate for a win, right? I think they make mistakes. So I'm going to go 5-0.
And who's getting the 5, Jim?
Well, I really fancy Xavi and Kudus to score tonight, right?
Yeah.
And I think whenever we put Richie down, he always seems to score. So I'm going to go Richie to get 2. And why are you shaking your head, Luke? What's he saying?
Because Big H says that Luke is Declan Rice in disguise. He sounds just like him, and it made me laugh, so I put it up again.
Anyone but him.
And I'm going to go for the 5th goal. I'm going to go Johnson off the bench.
Johnson off the bench. So Johnson again, ole. Good.
Yeah.
I like to sing that. Look, we're here to build you up. I didn't like it last season because a lot of the time I was predicting losses, but I kind of feel like we've turned a bit of a corner with Thomas Frank, and I'm hoping that these are the sort of games that we won't be losing. I mean,
all this Tottenham shit and all this bullshit from all the last few seasons about Spurs and Spurs and all that, that's all out the window now. All gone. No, we are now the mighty Spurs.
I hope so, Jimbo. I hope so. I think it's going to take a while before
we win the Premiership,
She's
or
keeping
before
us
we
all
win.
in suspense. She's keeping us all in suspense.
I was actually saying it will be a while before we lose the Spursy tag.
Oh, 100%.
That's what I was going to say. It's going to
take
take
time. Up in like the first week
league.
after we win a trophy. We win a trophy in the first week of the Premier League season. People will talk about things being Spursy. So
I've always hated that Spursy tag. That's really, it always does get me. That Spursy tag, it just really pisses me off. You know,
So
I hate the sound of it.
Under Frank, I'm telling you,
It is. I agree with you, Jimbo. It's going to change.
Yeah, 5
It's
years,
changing already.
We're going to win everything.
And yeah, I can see the Declan Rice resemblance in you, Luke, a little bit. Yeah, I can see it.
That's such an insult, Luke. I'd never say that to you.
I tell you one thing. I wish I was on his money.
Yeah. Do you know what? I refuse this. That's the first time I've ever said his name. After he ditched us to go and play for England, I cannot stand the bloke. He's a traitorous little son of a gun. So I do apologise for saying that, Luke. You're not. You're lovely, but he's a treacherous little son of a gun.
I definitely need to sort this internet out tonight. I don't know what's going on, why it keeps freezing, but you know, these things are sent to try us and all that. I don't know who is doing the watch along tonight. I would assume it's Ben and Sim, but I don't know if either of them are going to the match. So I'm going to say it's Ben and Sim, but I don't know for sure. I hope we're all right because, you know, there's been predictions that lots and lots of clean sheets, lots and lots of goals. And, you know, let's hope so, because now is the time to take advantage of those drop points by the likes of Chelsea. You know, I think it's too early. That's the question I was going to ask before I froze. Somebody said something about we need to win tonight to be in the title race. This was it. Yeah, I think we come out blazing. The team knows we'll enter the title race with a big W. Luke, surely it's too early for that sort of talk.
Yeah, it is in a way, but obviously it's all about momentum, right? And it builds it. I've seen a lot of people kind of criticizing Frank in terms of the way that we've just got goals from set pieces and everything else, but he's building something at the moment. He's come in at the very start. A lot of changes have taken place, so I feel it's really unfair to judge him. Even if we was losing games right now, it's really tough to kind of judge him. We have to give it 10, 12 games to really understand what he's about and everything else. So the attacking at the moment, it does look a little bit off. It looks a little bit like there's nothing really programmed in the team, but he needs time on a training pitch. And after a couple of months, then you can really start making that judgment. I think it's really, we jumped the gun. I think everything is so immediate. And the fact that we're winning games, even though we're not playing exceptionally well, is a positive sign. So yeah, I'm all for it. And I think Ange, kind of the way that he came in and he was just like, why can't the fans believe? Like we believe in our team. We should want to believe. So if you go 4 or 5 games where you're winning games, you're near the top of the league, why not? Why not just enjoy that ride instead of worrying all the time about what's going to happen and everything else? So I'm absolutely fine with that happening. As I said, I think momentum is absolutely huge. I'm on a lot of rival fan stuff as well, and a lot of them are going, kind of way that user started under Frank, who's really smart. And I'm going, you are all talking about Tottenham. You never say this about Tottenham. You're always kind of like Tottenham will crash, Tottenham will burn. So why not just enjoy the ride while we're on it?
But okay, being in a title race, right, is being in the top 4 and being close to the top. And we've just gone out the top 4 with a game in hand. We win this game, we go second. So at this moment in time, we are in a title race, even though it's the beginning of the season, only 5 games gone. But all the time you're there, every game that goes by, right, you stay there. As the season goes on, right, people begin to believe more. But why shouldn't we be in a title race? Why not? Why? Have you seen anyone out there that's absolutely... You're looking, thinking they've won it. You know, maybe the other day you'd be thinking Liverpool, but then look today.
No, I've
never seen it so quiet.
I've got PTSD from those first 10 games under Ange Postecoglou. That's what it is. We all got excited, and then the wheels fell off.
Each other different. We got some different players in there. You got to forget all that crap, Kate. You know, what you're going to look back into 90 something when we started there and we was at the bottom, then we went bottom of the league, all that crap. It's a different season, different manager. We got different players in there, different style of play. Last season's finished, it's gone. You know, we were 17th, we won a trophy, lovely. This season's completely different. You know, we're playing different type of football, different formations. It's different. You can't go by last season. It's or the season before. You know, they're gone. They're gone.
We are in the title race. We're in the title race until we're no longer in the title race. I think we can give it a good go this year. I think we've got a manager that knows how to be flexible and adaptable during games. We've already gone away, beat Man City 2-0. November's going to be the month where we really find out where we are. Yeah. And if we come out of there with 2 wins and say with 8 points, then I would definitely say we're in the title race. But at the moment, I think we're 85% in the title race. Get past November, and then we'll be 100% in the title race. Back Frank in January, and then the title's ours.
Well,
Excellent.
look, it's game by game. That's the way I look at it. Every game that goes by, if we win, I think, yep, we're solid. We're going to stay up there. You know, and then if you lose one, it depends how the other scores go. But for me, it's game by game. I don't look and think, I'll look where we are in December. I want to see where we are at the end of tonight.
We also don't know how other teams are going to go, right? Like, if other teams have an off seat, like if every last year, if anyone would have said at the start of the season, City are going to be off it, everyone would have gone, well, Arsenal will win it then. And it's just how that sort of works. Do you know what I mean? So if a couple of teams have an off season or they have a bad run, and then start focusing maybe on a Champions League or something like that, if you're in contention, if you're amongst that pack, then it can only be a positive. And then also we're talking about signings in January. You might then, the quality of player that looks to come in might go, hang on a minute, these guys are like, they're right up there. Do you know what I mean? So as long as we're in that conversation, I'm happy to go just a little bit below the radar, though. We stay as the below the radar, sitting in that 4th and 5th, and then
you leave it to me.
Look, Dermot, Luke, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Dermot, what's going on at THFC Till We Die?
Yeah, we've got watch-alongs. We've got pre-match, post-match, loads of stuff going on over there. But yeah, come over and hit a like and subscribe if you've liked what I want to say, but do it here. This is, I think, the mothership that started this all off on our journey, one way or the other. It's such a privilege being, coming on to these pump-ups this season. Thank you to Kate and Jim for inviting me. I'm really enjoying them. So yeah, come over and hit and subscribe on mine. I would like to get to 3K for the end of the season. So let's get there.
Everyone go over to Dermatron and subscribe over there. Luke, what is going on over at Spotlight on Spurs?
Yeah, I mean, echoing what was just said, really appreciate coming on. Thank you very much. It's really good to come on. And as I said on the last show, you just feed off your energies. I came into it going, Dr. Tottenham, and now I'm going, how many are we going to win by? Do you know what I mean?
Who's Dr. Tottenham, Luke? Who's Dr. Tottenham?
Well, I don't know anymore. I've forgotten about it. Because
he got the sack. He got the sack with Levy. He's living with Levy now down somewhere in some part of London in a dodgy hotel. You know,
I don't know. As I say, I knew he was before we started. I don't know who he is anymore. I've forgotten about him. That's what I like. But nice. It's brilliant coming on. Thank you very much again. And yeah, so a relatively new channel. Literally only been going since the kind of end of last year. So yeah, it's brilliant to be on. Closing in on 1.5K. So we go live every Thursday. Have a summary show almost of the week, of the results, what's coming up, that sort of thing. Always getting different people on with different opinions, whether you was an Anjin or Anjalta, whether you didn't doubt Frank, whether you was a Brian Daigle who absolutely adored him from minute one. It's all about just having a chat, seeing the other side, and hopefully expanding my own football knowledge and other people. So yeah, it'd be great if you guys could come over and drop a follow. It'd be brilliant. Thank you.
Excellent. Yeah, there's 408 people. So if everyone went over and subbed to Luke and Dermot and us, if you want to, it would help everyone. But yes, Jimbo and I during the day, lunchtime shows. But tonight, straight after the match, you can catch Jimbo and I on Chris Cowlin. Chris Cowlin is having Jimbo on his channel. Whoever thought that would happen? He won't know what's hit him. He's had Ricky Norwood, who he thought was positive. Wait till he has Jimbo there. I think he's going to need a stiff drink afterwards. But so yeah, please do come and find us at Kate and Jimbo, or check us out at 10:10 over on Chris Cowlin. But that leaves us to say thank you to everyone for watching. You've got about 13 minutes until the watch along starts, so time to grab yourself a beer or a tea or whatever you want. Hopefully Jimbo's definitely not American. He's half Maltese, but he's definitely not American. He's been called a lot, but I don't think that's ever been a name that he's been called. But
put that out there.
Enjoy the game, everyone. Let's hope for a win, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday for the Champions League pump up. But as always, come on, you Spurs.
Go on, you Spurs.